Stevens.
It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship, and I note that as of yet you have not received your phone call to number 10, Mr Hollywell, but good luck with that in any case. Can I firstly congratulate the member for Cardiff South and Penarth for his excellent speech earlier and for bringing this motion to us. I have always been a supporter of looking at different ownership models within the economic sector, including cooperatives, and I think that cooperatives should be encouraged. And more so than that, the clear indication of the cooperative model is when they work with the trade union movement. And that shouldn't come as any surprise to us, because the key goals of the trade union movement and cooperatives are very much similar. And in relation to that, mutual goals and dealing with shared challenges in terms of employment, in terms of looking at innovation, in terms of looking at education and lifelong learning for working people, bringing about social inclusion, equality, and looking after our environment. And it comes as no surprise to me to learn that in cooperatives, workers have good working conditions, and cooperatives act in the interests of workers' experience and make sure they have strong labour rights. And there is dialogue within the cooperative movement between workers' involvement, making sure that workers are participating in the decision-making of the cooperatives, and they share, of course, similar historic roots, common values and aims, including, of course, looking at the social and economic well-being of the community and promoting economic sustainability and social innovation, including, of course, democratising the economy and making sure there's a fair distribution of resources, because the economy cannot just be left to multinational companies who do not too often follow the aims of the cooperative movement. And what we find in the cooperative movement is high trade union membership. And what does that mean? That means that workers are paid more in the cooperative economy than they are elsewhere, have better contracts, open-ended employment contracts, and a low level of conflict between those working in the cooperative centre with those in management. Job creation and protection being a key driver and joint work between the trade union movement and cooperatives. Participation even in the building sector. And I welcomed in 2012 the Cooperatives UK dialogue with the TUC to develop a common statement of best practice for workers' cooperatives to emerge from public sector and delivering services across the UK, so that there is a common agenda. And as I mentioned in my intervention with the member for Cardiff South and Penarth, the work that's been done in Wales in tackling the issues of the labour market in Wales. And I think that is something that has to be encouraged, because too often we have middle-aged unemployment on the increase. We have to deal with those who have dropped out of school without qualification. And of course, we need to continue the work that needs to be done in raising youth employment. Mr Holloway, the SNP manifesto in 2016 said we will encourage and support third sector organisations, social enterprises and credit unions to enter the marketplace, to fill gaps in the provision of services and to offer alternatives to current providers that are not offering services people can access easily or affordably. And that, of course, includes sectors of the economy in energy, in banking, payday loans, debt management and funeral planning. And can I say, Mr Holloway, the most sensible decision I have ever made in terms of my finances was when I was an employee of Glasgow City Council and joined the Glasgow Credit Union, the largest credit union in the UK. Probably the best financial decision I've ever made in terms of it does encourage, I think, sensible borrowing as well as saving as well. And I think that the credit union movement I would like to see flourish over the next few years, as too many areas in our country are falling into bad debt and those sorts of issues. Because research has shown that money worries and debt problems can lead to ill health, absence from work and low productivity. And so, as well as educating me when I was a young person entering the workplace to join a trade union, we need to educate young people about money and about making it easy for adults to save and borrow via credit union, because that will save public funds in the long term if we continue to promote credit unions. Now, Mr Hollybone, it really comes as no surprise to me that the cooperative model is a success story in these difficult times, where we're seeing austerity across the EU. And as someone who lives in Scotland, and I assure you, Mr Hollybone, Scotland will remain in the EU, it comes as no surprise to me that cooperatives add 5% to the GDP of every single EU nation, and they're hugely important for economic and social development. And I will be supporting this motion this afternoon. Thank you.